From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Micah Halpern, sitting in for Teisha Bader, here with the JBS News Update for Monday, March 6, 2017. The Associated Press reports that Russian authorities have arrested 3 terrorists and killed 1 other. The terrorists were all members of an ISIS cell. According to the report, these 4 terrorists were part of a sleeper cell in the southern region of Dagestan, in the city of Derbent, which is on the Caspian Sea, very close to the Azerbaijani border. The Russian anti-terrorism unit approached a house where one of the terrorists was hiding out. A shootout ensued and the terrorist was killed. The other 3 terrorists were arrested afterwards in other locations. ISIS is expanding their reach, and Russia is one of their main primary targets. The Russian presence in the Middle East, particularly in Syria, does not please ISIS at all. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas recently finished a 3-day trip to Lebanon. As he left Ain al-Hilwa, the largest Palestinian village and refugee camp in Lebanon, which is located in the southern region near the city of Sidon, the camp erupted in violent fights. Internal clashes between supporters of Abbas and some extremist groups in the camp, including Al-Qaeda, went after each other. There were numerous injuries. Ain al-Hilwa has a reputation of being a lawless center and a hotbed of extremism. These conflicts are typical in the region. People in the Middle East are tied to clan and area affiliations. They are fiercely loyal to their families. When the family leader establishes an affiliation with a cause or political or otherwise, the entire clan falls into line. That includes defending and fighting for their cause. We see this happen in the camps, in towns and in villages throughout the region. There is far more loyalty to clan than to national leader. Iran has been tested ballistic missiles. They shot 2 cruise-style missiles called Nasser missiles from a submarine. The missiles hit their targets. The United States and other Western nations say this behavior violates UN Security Council Resolution 2331, which was passed in the aftermath of the famous nuke deal. The resolution passed in July of 2015 says that Iran is, quote, not to undertake any activity related to ballistic missiles designed to be capable of delivering nuclear weapons, including launches using such ballistic missile technology, unquote. Iran says that they are not in violation of any resolution. The Iranian claim is that they do not have a nuclear program, so they cannot be in violation of anything nuclear related. They say the resolution only deals with issues in connection to nuclear development. Of course, the Iranians want to expand their nuclear technology. They say that they are engaging in energy and research, not in weapons development. The King of Saudi Arabia, Salman ibn Abdul Aziz, is on a trip to Indonesia. When a Saudi king travels, his style is truly fit for a king. Salman ibn Abdul Aziz is traveling with an entourage of between 900 and 1,500 people, including 100 security personnel. He brought over 500 tons of luggage, including 2 Mercedes S600 limousines and 2 freestanding elevators. Yes, 2 freestanding elevators. 10 ministers and 25 princes are joining the king on his 9-day trip. In addition to Indonesia, the visit includes China, Japan, Maldives, and Jordan. In 2015, when the King of Saudi Arabia visited Washington, D.C., the royal entourage took over the entire Four Seasons Hotel in Georgetown, all 222 rooms. When the king travels, he comes complete with an entire crew and all the trappings of the monarchy. The King of Saudi Arabia would sacrifice none of the comforts of home, even when hitting the road. The new administration in the United States is telling the United Nations to change its behavior, or they, the United States, will withdraw their support and membership. The United States Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Aaron Barclay told the United Nations Human Rights Council to balance their agenda and stop their obsession with Israel. Barclay made this statement as she addressed the committee.
The United States also remains deeply troubled by the Council's consistent, unfair, and unbalanced focus on one democratic country, Israel.
The Trump White House is saying plain and clear to that the United States will not be party to Israel bashing. Let's see how the Human Rights Council, one of the most vicious anti-Israel forums in the United Nations, responds. Bahrain arrested 25 people suspected of terror. The police say the 25 were a part of a 54-person ring. The police seized weapons, explosive cars, a boat, and a drone. The group is charged with going to Iran and Iraq and receiving training from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Iran has been trying to destabilize Bahrain since 2011 and the Arab Spring. Bahrain is controlled by Sunnis, who compose about 15% of the country, but the majority of Bahrainis, about 85% of the country, are Shiites. There continues to be a low-level, constant movement of Shiites to overthrow Sunni leadership in Bahrain, and this group is another example of that endeavor. And now for a rundown of tonight's broadcast on JBS for Monday, March 6, 2017. At 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer. At 7:30, Deputy U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas speaks about the Syrian refugee question. At 8, co-founder and dean of Mechon Hadar, Shai Held, discusses the concept of God's love in the Torah and how it relates to the Jewish people and the entire world in the program of Limud New York 2017. At 9 p.m., Mark Golub sits down with Dalia Zadia on L'chaim, and at 10, Yusuf M. Ibrahim discusses Islam and Israel at the 92nd Street Y, and coming up right after this broadcast, it's In the News with Mark Golub. I'm Micah Halpern, and this is today's news update from JBS.